nature's resource. Follow the knowledge.
You always hurt the one you love, the one you shouldn't hurt at all.
For more information, please visit www.eddiebauer.com.
Now, your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
A snowstorm is making its move across the Ohio Valley in a push to the northeast. This is what the storm left behind in Tulsa, roads barely passable across the northern half of Oklahoma. You're seeing light snow and foggy conditions now in Cincinnati, and the major cities of the northeast brace for the approaching system. Good afternoon and welcome to Weather Center, sponsored by GMC. I'm Janetta Jones. This system is already affecting parts of the Ohio Valley region and will have a major impact on the northeast for your Monday morning commute. Let's join Will Annan in the Forecast Center for the latest on this system.
Thanks a lot, Janetta. And once again, we'll be following this storm as it makes its way up the eastern seaboard, and for many of the big cities, you're going to be clobbered by some heavy, wet snow during the next 24-hour period. Let's take a look at where the storm system is right now. It covers a large chunk of the mid-Atlantic and the southeastern part of the country. We've got everything going now from severe thunderstorms in parts of Florida. Janetta is going to be covering that as we go back to the studio in just a few more minutes. Our main concern here right now is going to be what is developing on the, once again, on the northern flank of this storm system. And as you can see, we're going to be looking at some more snows. And again, a lot of that snowfall developing across the Ohio River Valley right now. Even more so is the snow, which is coming down heavily at times at this hour across southern parts of Pennsylvania. And standing by right now in Cincinnati, Ohio, actually in Covington, Kentucky, looking across the river at Cincinnati is our Jim Cantori, who's seen a large batch of snowfall already come through during the course of the day. And that's made a real mess, hasn't it, Jim?
It really has, Will, and it's amazing. We've talked about the storm for the last couple of days, and it's really only been about a 2 to 2.5 hour period that has caused all the problems, and I'll show you those problems right now. Let me take you earlier on today where we actually were ready to be released. We were ready to head home. We were at the airport. All of a sudden, the skies opened up, and we were snowing at 2, possibly up to 3 inches an hour, and it was extremely heavy. And that snow obviously caused some big problems for us getting back to the area here where we're at in Covington, Kentucky. So that's the problem here. When you have snowfall rates at 2 to 3 inches an hour, especially a wet snow where it just packs on that road and you can't scrape it off, then we deal with the problems. Here's the good news, though. Our visibility has come up dramatically. You can see the cloud ceiling has raised big time. You can even see through the low layer clouds and into the upper clouds and mid layer clouds. So we're pretty much over here for now with regards to the snow, and that's really going to help some of the road surfaces clear on out. And look at this too. I did a little experiment here. I had a feeling that the sun would be strong enough to even get through. I just came over and scraped a layer with my boot like that, and I scraped a couple of them, and the sun actually melted that without any salt or anything. So believe it or not, here we are in March. That sun's a very, very powerful tool, and that definitely helps things out. But if you live in Pennsylvania, if you live in West Virginia, and into the Northeast, these are the kind of snowfall rates that are heading your way. So be careful for some problems. If you need some road answers, if you're traveling in Kentucky, here's the number: 1-800-459-7623. That's the Kentucky Road Conditions number for you, and they'll give you all the information you need. But again, I would imagine, at least here, things are definitely improving. Back to you, Will.
Thanks a lot, Jim, for your report. And now joining me here at the Weather Channel is our winter weather expert, Paul Colson. And we've got a couple of radars to show to folks out there. One from the Cincinnati, Ohio region. Another one is very interesting now for New York City.
Right. We're seeing that clearing that Jim just showed from the northwest coming in towards Cincinnati as that initial snow band now begins to break up as the upper low continues to move towards the northeast, setting its sights on the major metropolitan areas of Philadelphia and New York. And what we're hopefully going to see when we look at the radar from New York, there we go, is that as the surface low develops across the Carolinas, we're now seeing lots of precipitation starting to break out across Virginia. But we're seeing now the band of heaviest snowfall from just south of Pittsburgh across much of eastern Pennsylvania through just north of the Washington, D.C. area, where they've mixed with some rain and some sleet as well. So we're seeing the heaviest snowfall right now, right in this area, and it's got its eyes set right on New York City. In Philadelphia during the last hour, you've seen your light rain change over to moderate to heavy snow, now heavy snow reported at Willow Grove. I know in New York you're probably a little skeptical as your temperature's now 40 degrees with some light southeasterly winds. Just give yourself a couple hours. Conditions are probably going to change there quite dramatically with moderate to heavy snow in the next couple of hours.
And we can show you the progs coming up for later on this evening, and we'll take you through the rush hour tomorrow morning, and also we'll show you what's going to be happening by the rush hour tomorrow evening. A real mess for the next 24 at least.
Right, we're seeing that low pressure center now redevelop, and we're seeing the precipitation filling through this entire region. And what we've seen is that we're getting that moisture influx off the Atlantic coming ahead of that secondary low, and we still have cool, relatively dry air that's feeding into the storm, allowing those temperatures to drop. So as we see that storm move towards the northeast, towards New England, we'll see that low pressure system of tomorrow morning be off of the New Jersey coastline with a real mess situation, Boston, New York, Philadelphia, and the Washington metropolitan area. By Monday evening, we'll see that storm really start to wind up over southeastern New England, and we'll see that snow spread across much of the rest of New England.
So it looks like it's going to be a slow-moving and long-lasting storm for many of the big cities for the Northeast. What has happened so far with this storm? We can show you some of the snowfall amounts. Again, in some spots in southwestern New York.